This is a true horrifying story, part 33. This special episode does not necessarily tell you a story, but it will explain more in depth about the world of jinns. Many of my viewers are non-Muslims, and they get an idea of what a jinn is, but not in depth. Jinns are paranormal beings. In other religions, they are known as demons or devils. Iblis is the father of all jinns. He's also known as Lucifer. They lived on earth way before humans did. They were known to shed blood and chaos before humans existed. They still exist and live with us, but they're in another dimension that corresponds to our physical world. There are many types of jinns. Just like in Christianity, there are types of demons. There are good jinns and there are bad jinns, which are the disbelievers. In Islam, we call them shaitans. In other words, Satans. Jinns can see us, but we cannot see them. We can only see the shape-shifting jinns in physical form, when they shape-shift into certain types of animals or human form. There are Muslim jinns, there are Christian jinns, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhists, and also atheists. There are young ones and there are old ones. There are males and there are females. Jinns reproduce just like any other creature on earth, but their world is a different type of science. It's far beyond the science that we know of. Jinns can only come in close contact with humans through portals. Not any jinn can harm you. Not any jinn can haunt you. Only the ones that are capable of coming through these portals. But what are these portals? Black magic is one kind of portal, like the books and the rituals I explained in my previous parts. And mirrors are also known to be lethal portals. And yes, jinns can possess and harm human beings, but only people with weak souls and weak faith are the ones who are prone to getting possessed. And only exorcists can treat such circumstances. All these horror movies that we watch, with all these scary scenes, all these scenes can very much happen to some extent from jinns. However, good jinns don't harm humans. They can actually save you from being harmed in many ways. But unfortunately, the evil jinns outnumber the good jinns. There are more demons around us than good souls in their dimension. It's because Iblis, Lucifer, their father, is not a good jinn. These beings have been mentioned in all religions. These beings are very real. They do exist. This is a true horrifying story, part 34. I've been talking about horror stories for a while now. I've talked about jinn stories, serial killers, books that are involved in black magic, and haunted places, and all my horror content is based in the Middle East. But this time though, things have slightly changed. Ever since I started, my horror story videos blew up, and ever since I posted part 19, I got many message requests from sketchy Instagram accounts, and these accounts were telling me to stop talking about jinns and black magic. I don't know if it was or not, but I kind of felt like I was being warned. A few weeks later, after part 19, I eventually posted part 25. And in part 25, I spoke about one of the most dangerous books to read, Shams al-Ma'arif, an old ancient book that carries rituals for black magic. Right after that post, I was facing strange things. I suffered from nightmares. My nightmares were infested with crows. Every dream I would have had to have at least one crow in it. Mu'min Abu Mecca responded and confirmed the information I shared in part 25. And then he got his account banned on TikTok a few days later for more than a whole week. I don't know if this is the aftermath because we spoke about this book or not, but I am facing horror sometimes in my house, in my toilet, during the shower, and even before I sleep. And I'm still posting videos for my fans. Whether the jinns like it or not, I'm still going to expose and talk about black magic. I've had commentators that practice black magic. Wallah al-Azim. I've also been threatened by many people that I'm gonna get the worst nightmares I have ever seen, just because I talked about this book. And it's also because I'm making the younger ones get closer to their prayers and their adhkar. Let me hit you guys on a quick secret. If you were not afraid, or seemed like you were not afraid, not even Iblis can possess you. You being from Ummat Muhammad are stronger than any demon that was ever created. And what I'm saying might piss these people and their beings off, but let me assure you, I'm a person that's not a sheikh, not an imam, nor a person that is 100% educated on the knowledge of Islam. But I can guarantee you this though, even if you were scared from the inside, but physically seemed like you were brave, I swear to God, They cannot do anything to you. I would sometimes shower and hear a woman in the same toilet speaking. I would sometimes sleep and feel like something or someone is sitting next to me. But I act like I didn't feel nothing, I didn't hear nothing. Was I supposed to stop when I got these threats because I was talking too much? No. I'm still gonna post for you guys and nothing can stop me. This is a true horrifying story, part 35. This topic is requested by many people. Who is Al-Masih Al-Dajjal? Al-Dajjal is the Antichrist in Islam. In Christianity, he's known as the false Messiah. He is a person, a human being. He will be the leader of the New World Order. His army are initially known as the Illuminati. It consists of many leaders, high net worth big ballers, and also famous people. They're being used as puppets to deceive people like you and I. Al-Dajjal is known to be very old. He's been around since the prophets. He is chained up on a deserted island that no one knows where it is. The Illuminati's task is to prepare for his arrival, and when he is out, he will cause complete destruction. He will deceive many people, making them believe that he is God. He will be worshipped by millions, if not billions of people, and his army will be indestructible. Only with God's will his chains will break, and when he comes he will have supernatural abilities. He will be able to control the weather, strike thunders, fly, and levitate objects. And he also has a one-time ability. God gave him that ability that he can do only one time. The people would go up to him and tell him, if you're a God, then prove it. He will slice a person in half and then bring his halves back together, and that person will live. The scary thing about Al-Dajjal is he's not only going to be worshipped by humans, he's also worshipped by jinns. He has a big army, including Iblis. He will shed blood on earth. He will kill every single being that does not call him God. He will travel the whole world in just 40 days. So wherever you are in the world, you will see him. Except for two places, Mecca and Medina. These are two places in the world that Dajjal will not step foot in, because Mecca and Medina are guarded by angels and they will not allow him in. They say that he will deceive Muslims as well, Muslims that pray 5 times a day. He'll make you think by worshipping him you'll get all the happiness in the world, and he'll shower you in gold. Only people with strong faith will be able to read the word kafir on his forehead. Us humans fear demons and jinns, but this human is feared and worshipped by demons. Now there is a way to prevent him from coming close to you, but I'll let the experts explain how that can be done in detail. There are many minor and major signs throughout time, signs of when the Dajjal will come. And I assure you, we are more than halfway through these signs. This is a true horrifying story, part 36. This story was narrated by a very well-known sheikh on the Merciful Servant YouTube channel. This channel is a legitimate source. They're based in the United States. This story took place in California many years ago. There is a sheikh in California that is known to be a very big raqi. He performed over 200 exorcisms on people that were possessed. He came across another sheikh, a friend of his, and this sheikh told him, listen, how do you believe in this stuff? Jinn possessions, black magic. This stuff doesn't exist. Jinns cannot possess humans. He didn't want to argue with him, so he let it be. One day, he took him to one of his patients that he's been treating for a while. A young Muslim woman possessed by 3 jinns. A jinn family that consists of a male, a female, and their young one. All 3 possessing this Muslim woman. After many exorcism sessions, that visit with the sheikh that didn't believe in such stuff was maybe the 4th visit. They go to her house and he prepared him with the ruqya. The sheikh that was in denial started reading Ayat al-Kursi. Ayat al-Kursi is a short verse from the Quran that we read after prayers. It protects us from the evil eye, demons, and black magic. The woman elevated 3 feet from the ground. The sheikh's hand started shaking as that happened. The family of the 3 jinns were talking to each other through this woman while the ruqya was being performed. The 3 jinns would shout and argue with each other whether they should leave her body or not. The sheikh skipped a verse from fear. Seeing this for the first time, he skipped a verse. The woman looked at him and turned her head 180 degrees, a movement that is physically not possible. He took a step back and was not able to continue. Eventually, the other sheikh stepped in and continued the exorcism on this woman. They left her house and the sheikh that was in denial was sure that these things are in existence. This is a true short story that shows you a few of the many side effects that can happen during an exorcism. This is a true horrifying story, part 37. Who are Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, also known as Gog and Magog? These evil forces have been mentioned in the Quran, the Bible, and the Torah. Ya'juj is a tribe and Ma'juj is another tribe. They're both related. They existed close to the era of Moses, who is Musa alayhi salam. They are human beings that have been reproducing and increasing in number for thousands of years. They are the most barbaric and vicious humans that ever existed. They are cut off from mankind. They are nowhere close to any civilization. Some definitions have slightly proved that they may be located somewhere in the North Pole. And some modern theories state that there is a civilization in the North Pole that we never contacted before. They will come out one day, and they will destroy, rape, murder, kill, and eat everything around them. In all the sacred texts, they are defined in the same way. And many prophets have warned their people from Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. In Islam, it states that for every one Muslim, there are 999 Gog and Magogs. That's how big their population is. In the Bible, they're described as evil forces that will join Satan in the great struggle at the end of time. They are so many that one narration says, during their journey, they will pass by a lake in Palestine called Tabariya. They all start drinking from this lake, till the ones that are far behind eventually catch up. There will be no water left, and one of them will say, there's meant to be a lake in this area. They were cut off from mankind during an era of a king named Dhul Qarnayn. Some people refer to him as Alexander the Great in other scriptures. He joined forces with other nations and built a wall. The whole wall was made of iron to block them from attacking mankind. They've been trapped between two mountains for thousands of years. However, the Prophet narrated that Ya'juj wa Ma'juj have broken a hole that is this big. No one knows how close they are today. The Quran also states that there will not be any army that can beat them. They will kill everybody. And after everyone's death, they will say, we conquered the habitants of the world. It's time to kill the habitants of the sky. They're talking about angels here. They will point their arrows to the sky and shoot. You don't have to be Muslim to believe what I'm saying. All sacred texts, all religions, have warned people about Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. The day they come out is a curse for every human being that will be alive. This is a true horrifying story, part 38. Some of you may find this very scary, but I honestly cracked up for the first time hearing a jinn story like this. This story took place in Qatar in the year 2004-2005. Now I cannot use the real names of these people, so I'm just going to introduce them as Ahmed and Abdullah. Now Ahmed is the person that told me this story. He's a 65-year-old ex-military Qatari man. He's best friends with Abdullah ever since they were recruited in the military at the age of 18. Till this very day, both being in their 60s. Back in 2004-2005, they were both in their 40s. High-ranked in the military. Now Abdullah's father passed away, Allah yarhamah, a couple of years after the story happened. Abdullah's father was an old man that dealt and cooperated with jinns. But he never hurt people, nor did black magic or anything like that. He just dealt with them for his own benefit or his own pleasure. One day, Ahmed and Abdullah were out cruising on a day off late at night in the winter. They picked up some tea and cigarettes and they parked in a deserted old parking lot. Ahmed notices a creepy black cat just chilling next to some bushes. And this cat was just staring at them the whole time they were outside drinking tea. He tells Abdullah and he points at the cat. Abdullah puts a smirk on his face. He goes to the back of the car and pulls out a loaded double-barrel shotgun. He takes 2 shots at the cat, but apparently he misses. The cat just scampered away. 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes later, they both hop in the car and Abdullah gets an international call on his mobile. He picks up and it's his father speaking. His father called from London. He was at London at the time. Abdullah, what the heck have you done? What did I do? What the heck have you done? Yuba, what have I done? He says, the individuals that I'm friends with
told me that you tried to kill one of their sons. You almost killed a jinn, and they told me to warn you, because the next time you try harming any of them again, they will take your life." He freaked out. He knows his father's little secret that he does with the jinns. The cat was a jinn. Took them minutes to pass the message from the Middle East to London, and surprisingly, they let it slip. This is for real. Don't mess with stray animals, especially at night. This is a true horrifying story, part 39. The birth of Satan, Iblis. In other sacred texts, he's known as Lucifer. Non-Muslims refer to him as a fallen angel, but Muslims believe that he was never an angel. Angels are made from nur. Iblis was made from fire. Therefore, he is a jinn. He is the biggest jinn, the strongest jinn. And God had so much love for Iblis that he lifted him and he was valued amongst the angels. And then Adam was created, the first human being. Iblis was jealous. God ordered all beings to do sajda for Adam. Out of all beings, Iblis was the only one that refused. And he said, "I was made from fire. This being was made from dirt. I will prove to you that Bani Adam is not the righteous being." Adam, Eve, Iblis, and the angels all lived in paradise. Everyone was banned to eat fruit from a specific tree. Iblis manipulated Adam and Eve and they ate from that tree. They had to face consequences, so they were all kicked out of heaven. And that is why people call Iblis a fallen angel. He was never an angel. Iblis asked God if he can have an eternal life, so he can prove that humans are sinners. And that's his task. This is what he lives by. This is the birth of Satan. He gathered the shaitans, and now he has an army. He is the leader of all demons, and he will be the only being on earth that dies last. Iblis today sits on a throne. Nobody knows where he's located. However, in an authentic hadith sahih, the Prophet said that his throne is on water. So we don't know where, but we do know that he's somewhere far in the ocean. There's a short story of a French Arab woman that was possessed by a very powerful jinn for many years. The toughest sheikhs carried exorcisms to treat this woman. But before they kicked the demon out, the sheikhs wanted to ask a few questions. They asked the jinn, "Where is Iblis located?" Without a hesitation, the jinn responds, "We visit Iblis in the waters of the Bermuda Triangle." Some scientists have said, but still did not prove, that the Bermuda Triangle has a magnetic field that caused all these ships and planes to disappear. Now that's just a theory. Now legitimately speaking, a demon has spoken, and he exposed the location of where his leader possibly stays. But could it be Iblis? It is far beyond a question mark. It is in fact a section in the ocean that will kill you if entered. This is a true horrifying story about the most dangerous game to play. And no, it is not the Ouija board. This game is called the Corners game. People sent me a podcast video of two guys explaining how it's done. I've heard of this game a while ago, but since people are talking about it now, I'd love to step in. I genuinely warn you from playing this game, because it is extremely dangerous whether it was done right or wrong, and it does involve summoning an evil presence. Even if I didn't explain to you guys how it's done, you guys are probably gonna Google it either ways. The Corners game is a summoning ritual. In Islam, it is equivalent to practicing black magic. You need 4 participants. No additional players are allowed in the room. A room with 4 corners. No more, no less. All the lights in the room must be switched off. All players must enter the room one by one, speaking their name out loud 3 times. One principal is appointed as the speaker. The speaker stays in the middle of the room, and the remaining 3 players must pick a corner each and face the wall. The door should be shut, and when everyone is inside, no one is allowed to speak. When everyone is in position, the speaker counts to 3. And on 3, all participants must rotate clockwise to the next corner. Now there are 4 other procedures that I don't wish to explain further. But throughout the game, remember, there's always one empty corner. Now people say that one of the principals may disappear. But one thing for sure, an entity in the shape of a figure will appear in one of the corners. There is an emergency procedure of calling your name backwards, but I don't know if that will avoid getting you injured. A group of guys from Japan have played this game. No one disappeared in thin air after the game was done. However, one of the players never seemed the same after playing this game. During their third rotation, they saw a figure move in one of the empty corners. The figure is a jinn, and jinns feed off from empty corners. That is what we know of them in Islam. In households, jinns camp in corners, ceilings, or even toilets. The player that is in most fear will be possessed. And the player that was possessed from playing this game passed away a couple of years later. They were all young men in their late 20s. Sometimes dangerous rituals are commercially sold as games, such as the Ouija board. But they are just dangerous portals. You are literally creating a portal from the jinn world to your own room by playing such games. I didn't even explain how the game is done. If you Google the rest of the procedures, that's your responsibility. Stay away.